Hey YouTubers, this is Jamie and you're watching Cowside Talk. Well, I don't know if this is good sound or not, so I'm testing it, but I'm milking the cow this evening chores. I went to the feed store today in town and I was talking with the cashier there, who I see every week, and talking to her about prices of feed going up. I've been watching a lot of homesteading YouTube channels, and so I like to follow those guys and listen to their thoughts about what's going on in the agriculture world, and brought up how, you know, they have been talking about prices increasing up to 400% over the next 2 years, which is just crazy. And she agreed that that is really something that is happening and something to be concerned about. She said that usually month to month it can vary like 10 cents up, 10 cents down for the price of feed. The biggest jump she'd ever seen was a 40 cent jump in 1 month. And that was just a wow moment for them at the feed store. But in the last 2 months, it jumped up by $1 per month. So it jumped up by $2, and then the freight costs jumped by $2 per pallet load. So the prices are just climbing because gasoline prices, lumber, we have a grain shortage, worldwide grain shortage, and that is something to start preparing for and getting your storage capabilities up. We're planning on getting a steel, like a carport type building, a metal building, to house a semi-truck load of hay and store it for a year's worth for our farm. And then we would like to do the same for grain, just to lock in those cheaper prices, since it's estimated or expected that commodity prices are going to continue to climb for the next 10 years. And if grains like corn, just corn, is supposed to be climbing by 400% by 2023, this is something that we need to be ready for. Find ways to produce food on your farm. If you can reduce costs in one area, you can save money for maybe more grain or more hay. All right, now I'm doing milking chores in the morning. Since we're going into a time where things are probably going to get a lot more expensive, I was saying how important it is to try and prepare your family for those things. And one of those things is having a family milk cow. Family milk cows, not a miniature milk cow, but like a full-size family cow. Thanks, Ethan. Getting my bucket. So a full-size family milk cow can feed your entire family, raise you some beef, pigs, chickens, and feed your kitties. Like, from just a single cow, it can feed the entire farm. So it's also good fertilizer for gardens, and it can feed your neighbors. The reason why I don't think that a miniature cow is as useful as just a full-size milk cow is that I've actually tried multiple times. I thought it would be a great idea to have a miniature family cow for, you know, just in case things were so expensive, you know, it would be really cheap to feed. But you can get a goat that makes more milk than those miniature cows, and it ends up being more expensive to feed the miniature cow than it is to feed a goat. You might as well just feed a goat if you're going to get such a small amount of milk. Goats will be cheaper to feed that way. So in the long run, with a full-size cow, you would, as long as you can keep the cow fed, you keep your entire farm fed and some of your neighbors. So because she makes so much. This cow right here makes about 6 gallons of milk a day. So she is amazing. She's a Guernsey cow, and they eat, I think it's 25% less than your normal like Holstein. I had a Holstein Jersey named Emily, who I loved. She was my favorite cow, family cow of all time. But she ate like crazy. She could eat so much. And then these cows, 3 cows are pretty much eat as much. 3 Guernsey cows eat as much as that 1 cow almost. It was just ridiculous. But yeah, so what I'm saying is a full-size cow will give you everything your family and farm needs and your neighbors need in difficult times. But a small cow, you might be able to feed yourselves, but you won't be able to grow a nice beef and feed your family, let alone extras like pigs or chickens or neighbors. So a full-size cow is a much better option in difficult times. Another way our farm is preparing to kind of supplement the cows so they don't need as much grain is our rotational grazing system. So we're utilizing our 3 little acres to create as many 20-foot by 140-foot long miniature pastures. So the cows will rotate into one each day, and we're hoping to have enough for a month. So just having that fresh grass throughout the year will really help lower the amount of grain needed, and it's grown on our property, so it's almost free, minus the cost of the seed. The seed that we planted is a mixture of, I think, about 6 or 7 different kinds of plants: sorghum, Sudan grass, pearl millet, lots of other different legumes and things like that. And pearl millet and Sudan grass, sorghum Sudan grass, there's lots of different hybrids, grow really tall. They can be up to 12 feet tall. So you can have a lot of dry matter grown in a small space. So that's what we're going to try and do, is grow 5 feet of grass on a small area to make up for our space problem that we have, since we only have 3 acres instead of 10 or 15. Another thing a lot of people get a little confused with about cows is when they're looking for 100% grass-fed milk. But some cows produce so much that they couldn't survive on just grass, unless they were up north, maybe Alaska or Minnesota, Wisconsin area. But we're down here in Texas, and the soils are just not very fertile. So I have 1 cow that doesn't need grain, and then this cow does. But they're very different types of producers, even though they're the same breed of Guernsey cow. So that's something that you need to keep in mind, is if a cow isn't getting enough calories when she's in milk, she can die of ketosis, where her body takes the fat deposits and muscle from her own body and uses it for calories. And so she could eat as much hay as she could possibly try and eat in a day, but it won't be the calories she needs. So that's why people will supplement some grain. Now, if you have someone who's like feeding their cow only grain or mostly grain, then that's a problem. But cows will take that concentrated nutrients and utilize it for their bodies, and it can help their milk production as well. Cows will naturally seek out concentrated nutrients like grain heads in a field. They will find the sweetest and most nutrient dense grasses in the field, especially if there's grain heads on it. It helps put weight on them and keeps them a lot healthier. So everything has to be in balance. If a cow needs more calories, the best way to get that on them is grains. And there's nothing wrong with that. If the cow needs it, it's better than a dead cow. When a human is drinking her milk, they're not getting grain, they're getting her milk. Their rumen, their stomach, is a 4-chambered stomach, and it ferments everything that goes into it. So I don't know if you follow like the Weston Price diet, but grains need to be fermented before they're used. But these powerhouses here ferment everything, and then they utilize the fermented grain, the bacteria do as well, and they create vinegar, and then they use that as energy. So you have fermented grains used in the process of creating the milk, and that's just the first step. It goes through her entire system through her body to make milk. So it's not like you're getting, grain in your milk and all that. It's been fermented properly and processed through her digestive system to make something new and very nutritious and healthy. Another thing people like to bring up is, well, milk is only for baby cows, not people. But all mammals need nutrients, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, all of those things. And so we just need them in different and varying amounts. And so at no point does vitamin A or a beneficial digestive enzyme, it doesn't start out as healthy and then become unhealthy when you're an adult. We still need all of that nutrition for our entire lives. So milk is, yes, calves drink it, but you can find adult cows that sneak milk as well. It's a nutritious food that helps living things thrive. And you can put a goat or a pig or anything on this cow, and they will thrive drinking the milk. No one can convince me that cow's milk is just not healthy for humans. Human breast milk has more lactose than cow's milk. We need more of those types of sugars as infants. So I think most people, when they're having reactions to milk, it's because they're drinking the stuff from the store, which is nothing like it was coming straight out of the cow. It's been homogenized, where they force the milk and fats through a very tiny hole and change the fat structure, so it can't naturally separate like it does on fresh milk. So if you get a fresh gallon of milk and wait 12 hours, you'll see a layer of cream on top and then the skim milk on the bottom. And that's natural, but the homogenization process prevents that from happening because it changes the shape of the fat and actually makes it an unhealthy form of fat. So you have that, and then you have ultra pasteurization. It's different than just regular pasteurization. So they cook it at high temperatures, killing most of the beneficial vitamins, or destroying most of the beneficial vitamins, minerals, completely destroys the beneficial bacteria and enzymes that are there to help break down the milk for you instead of making your body break it down itself. So I just think that milk from a healthy cow is much better. Don't go to the store and get the junk at the store. It's just not. There they are. Don't get the milk at the store. It's not healthy. It's not milk. It's like a milk product. They've processed it so much that it is not the same thing, and it can make you sick. So get fresh milk that pretty much digests itself for you in your stomach, and make sure the farm is feeding the cows well. All right, well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. We're a new channel, so please comment, like, and subscribe to help us grow. We'll see you next time.